So you're stuck. You feel like you've just been going through the motions and life just doesn't feel like it's lifing anymore. You're in a rut. But that also means this is a perfect time to rebrand yourself. Before we dive into the video, I want to say that this is not for the faint of heart. Reinventing yourself is going to be hard. It's going to take time. It's going to take energy. You're not going to see results overnight. If you're not ready to say goodbye to the old you, that's fine. Maybe save this video for later. But if you are, strap in, get a little pen and paper or open the notes app on your phone or laptop and let's get started. The very first step is to create a vision of your dream life. Your vision is going to be the thing that you revisit every single day to motivate you, to remind you of where you're going, and it's going to be the thing that grounds you. So we have to start with the vision. To start creating your vision, you want to divide your life into categories. Some of the categories I like to think about are physical health, mental health, relationships, leisure and fun, career, finances, environment, which is like where you live, and then personal development. Feel free to add and adjust whatever matters to you. Within those categories, I want you to start brain dumping what your dream life actually looks like. The most important thing that you can do for this exercise is be extremely specific. Don't just say, I have my dream job. No, list out the specific things you want in your dream job. You could say, work remote, earn 150K, have fantastic coworkers, free food on Fridays if you go into office, etc. The reason being so specific is important is because the more specific you are, the more able you are to recognize when something is meant for you. If you just say, oh, I want my dream job, and you don't have no idea what your dream job actually looks like, how are you going to go over to LinkedIn and look at all the different listings and be like, oh, this is actually my dream job? No. You have no idea. Envision what your dream job is so that you have a baseline of what your expectations are. It will give you an actual destination. Now, once you've brain dumped everything that you can into all of these different life areas, I want you to start practicing something called scripting. If you're not familiar, scripting is a huge thing kind of in the law of attraction manifestation space where you essentially write things as if they already are. So instead of writing, I want to live on a beautiful apartment by the beach in Florida, I would write, I am currently living in this beautiful, spacious 2-bedroom apartment on Miami Beach. The more specific and the more you can actually envision what this looks like, the better, because that will help you train your mind that something like this is actually possible. Be very, very specific. When you're going through this exercise, there are 2 key things that I want you to practice. One is practice writing in some gratitude. Say things like, I'm so grateful, I'm so appreciative, thank you universe, or thank you God, whatever higher being you believe in. When you do that, you create more positivity and meaning into the vision. The second thing that's going to be really important when writing this vision is to refrain from incorporating any negative words. So instead of saying something like, I am debt-free, I would say, I am financially abundant. Just by twisting the words around, you're shifting the focus from lacking a negative to harnessing a positive. The more you can focus on the good, the more you can focus on the positive, the better, because you can continue to build that momentum. You are now going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as to what your current state looks like in each one of these categories. This is going to take a lot of vulnerability and honesty, but ask yourself how far you feel from your goals. I want you to describe your current state. Say you aren't where you are financially. Describe what your current spending habits are, what currently sits in your bank, how much you currently make. List out all of those numbers and describe your current state to give yourself a good, accurate picture of where you are today. Now that we have the vision and we have the current state, what we want to do is figure out what the gap looks like. I want you to identify exactly why you aren't where you want to be. What things are holding you back? Are there mindset shifts that you need to get over? Are you afraid of pursuing your goals because you're scared that someone else might make fun of you? What are some of the mental barriers that you have when it comes to actually achieving your dream life? And in addition to that, what are maybe some physical constraints or other limitations in resources that you might have? And how might you overcome those? For example, if I don't feel like I'm financially where I want to be, maybe some of the gaps are: 1, I'm not very diligent with saving my money or budgeting my money. 2, I feel like I don't have a good relationship with money, so I'm scared to check my bank account. I don't feel like there's an abundance of money in the world, so I do need to work on my money mindset. Identify all of these different habits and routines that you might have that are contributing to you not being where you want to be. Now we've finished the life audit. This is where we get into the action plan. You're writing out your little route okay, to get you from point A to point B. Now, what this actually looks like is we are going to establish goals, actions, and habits. These are all important in different ways. Let's start off with goals. Goals are incredibly important for direction and motivation. Creating specific goals is fantastic for providing you more structure to actually reaching your vision. Now, the way that you do this is by creating SMART goals. If you haven't heard of SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. By writing your goals this way, they provide more clarity, focus, and trackable progress. But if you really want to reinvent yourself, setting goals is 10% of it. The other 90% is really introducing new habits, actions, and routines in your life, because reinventing yourself is a lifestyle change. So in each life category, I want you to start setting very specific SMART goals. And for each of those SMART goals, I want you to start writing down some key action steps you can take, as well as habits that will actually get you there. For example, say my SMART goal is lose 5 pounds in the next 3 months. Under that SMART goal, I might list things like key action steps to take. 1, develop a meal plan. 2, develop a workout plan. Now, the key habits I would write under that are work out 4 times a week, doing weight training, and incorporate 2 days of cardio and 1 day of Pilates. I don't know, making that up. Now, by doing this, by having your goals outlined into action steps you'll take and then your habits you'll develop, you've really created a little action plan or a little roadmap to guide you from your current state to your dream life. So now that you have your action plan, you need to create a schedule and establish systems. I'm assuming that after you've done this huge exercise, you have probably a lot of different goals that you want to achieve. It's really important that you start prioritizing the way that you achieve them, because if you try and do them all at once, you will burn out. I guarantee it. I've tried it. It is exhausting. Pick a few areas that you want to focus on first. Some of the things that I would consider when picking these areas are, do these actually have trickle-down effects? For example, if I improve my financial state, that would allow me to travel more. So maybe I want to prioritize improving my financial state first, because that would enable other things down the road. Choose a few areas you want to prioritize and focus on first, and then start creating a timeline for when you'll achieve these. For the goals that you've actually picked to work on, create a schedule for when you'll do these things. So for example, I'm going to specifically work out in the early morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Have these very specific times in which you'll actually dedicate to doing these habits and new actions, so that you'll be more committed to actually doing them. By establishing these systems, you'll actually be able to put your action plan into execution. That way you'll move from the planning stage to the doing stage. The very last step is to monitor and track your progress. This is super important, because by checking in with yourself consistently, you'll be able to see what's working and what's not working. So the way I like to do this is by identifying input metrics and output metrics. Input metrics are essentially anything that you put in, things that you have control over. So that could be the number of times I've worked out this week, and an output metric would be pounds lost or increase in the weight that I can lift. Having both of these metrics is super important, because input metrics track exactly what you're doing. So if your input metrics are low, then you know, oh, maybe I need to put in more effort here to actually get some output. Now, if your output metrics are low and your input metrics are high, what that would signal is that your input metrics might not be the best way to actually get your output metrics. For example, say one of my input metrics was drinking a smoothie every single day, and I thought that that was gonna make me lose weight. But in reality, say after 5 weeks go by and I drink many a smoothies and I'm still not losing weight. Oh, well, that's time for me to reevaluate what other input metrics do I actually need in order for me to get the right output metric. So outline exactly what your input metrics are and your output metrics are, and find a good way to actually track both of them. This will allow you to monitor your progress and ensure that you're actually moving towards your goals. Now that you've made it through, here are some tips that will help you in your journey to reinvent yourself. Number 1, stop waiting until you're ready. You will never ever feel ready to start anything new. You just need to start. And by starting, you'll start getting your reps in and you'll become more comfortable and you'll actually make progress. So do not delay, just start, take the first step. Number 2, create a success board. This will train your brain to recognize that you are capable of success and to continue to motivate you to keep going. Create a running list of everything that you've achieved, big or small. That could be graduating college or landing your first job to posting your first YouTube video. These are all things that will remind you that you are capable of taking action and achieving your dreams if you just put your mind to it. Number 3, realize that change is hard. You are going to have to give up parts of yourself that you once loved. You're going to have to be okay with being uncomfortable. You are going to have to let some people go who might not understand this rebrand or reinvention of you. And that's okay, because people are meant to come and go from our lives. So give yourself grace. Number 4, allow yourself to go slow. Making too many changes at once is a surefire way to burn out, I swear. Like, your body is going to reject it. It's not gonna like all of the different things that are going on. And you're gonna be exhausted and you're gonna give up. But that's not what we want. We want consistency. So go slow. Facing your fears will take time. Do it a little bit day by day. Slowly allow yourself to acclimate to it. We have so much time to achieve our goals. There's no rush, okay? Just allow yourself to take time. Last but not least, number 5, learn how to set boundaries with people and enforce them. If you wanna reinvent yourself, you need to dedicate time and energy to yourself, which means you need to put up boundaries where boundaries were not before. And some people aren't gonna like that because maybe that takes time away from your relationship. But enforce those boundaries, because you can either pick making someone else happy or making yourself happy. At the end of the day, if you want to reinvent yourself, you need to choose yourself. You need to put yourself first. I gotta put me first. And that is it for this video. I hope this was helpful. Reinventing myself was probably the hardest and best decision I've ever made. I'm still going through it. The journey has been long, but I promise you it is well worth it. So if you are going through the process of reinventing yourself, drop me a comment down below. I would love to hear all about what your vision looks like and support you. I know you're gonna kill it in this upcoming year.